This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Hello and thanks for joining us on Superfans. This is the weekly show where we bring to you all Chicago sports summed up in some combination of analysis, bitching, and complaining. Homerism. I'm your fear-filled host, Dave Oster. Sitting across from me is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Sean Anderson.
Hello there.
And today we've got a jam-packed show for you. We're going to be starting things off hot and heavy with the Bulls and Lauri Markkanen. Shifting things over, some baseball talk. We got some Dallas Keuchel rumors around this offseason. And then wrapping things up with a segment on the Bears offseason 2020. If you guys are enjoying us and you want to find a way to contribute, make sure we keep doing what we are and bring you more content. Go over to patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcasts. Check us out. $1 tier gets you into our Discord. $10, you can jump on a show. We recorded Fast Break and Superfans today. We had John on. John's one of our favorite patrons. Had a great segment with him talking about young cores in the NBA. Bulls weren't mentioned, surprisingly enough. Shocker there.
Don't have it. Yeah.
Shocker
no
there.
Need to.
We're just keeping that clear. So let's get into things, boys. Chicago Bulls have had a disappointing start to the season, but as of late, there's some rays of hope. There's a little bit of hope floating in the air, and Sean rolling his eyes.
Christ.
I already feel it. Lauri Markkanen's performance as of late has been fill in the blank.
Disappointing. This has been the one where, yeah, he's had good games.
Yeah,
but you know what? I'm gonna change it. Disappointing, but a better word is inconsistent, because it's like, I know what Lauri Markkanen can be. I just haven't seen the consistency that I want out of him. And because of that, it's disappointing.
Month of December, he's putting up 18, 6, and about 1.5 assists a game, shooting 51, 41, 85.
But here's the thing. You can say all those stats and everything like that, but Ricky's absolutely true when he says inconsistent. Because you look at the actual numbers, you look at and watch the games.
Yep.
There are games that he's absolutely aggressive and forceful and putting his weight around. The Clippers game was one game that he was really good at. Grabbing boards left and right. He was physical out there. He knew that he had a matchup advantage going up against Zubac and going up against Montrezl Harrell. The Washington game was a game that he was very aggressive at.
Nobody plays defense game.
The Miami game, he was great in the first quarter, but even then it was like the first half he was great, and then the second quarter he was out of there. Which game was it where Thad Young was getting a ton of minutes and they rested him for 13 straight minutes? I mean, he's been inconsistent this entire month, and although the numbers look good, the actual play hasn't been there night in and night out, and he'll be great starting off the game, and then he'll slow down. So
was it the Charlotte game or the Atlanta game?
It might have been the Charlotte game.
Because the Charlotte game he had 25, and then Atlanta he had 23.
It was the Charlotte game,
because that was the worst game
10.
we ever watched in just Bulls history.
Yeah, that was straight up awful.
He had 10 points. I think all of them were in the first half, and then they sat him in the second half, third quarter going into the fourth quarter for 13 minutes. But it was something great because he looked effective, and it looked like it might have been the first Charlotte game all over again, where he had 30 plus points.
Pop-off game,
and then he disappeared, and it was just something that was concerning. And he can have a great 5 of 10 night, but it's just going to be followed up by, we're recording this tonight, they play the Wizards again. It's just going to be followed up by another 2 of 7 night. You don't know what you're going to get from Lauri Markkanen, and although the numbers look good all over December, it's not a great sign yet, because he still hasn't felt like he's made his presence clear on this Bulls team.
And just to correct you, we got the Pistons tonight.
So
red, blue, they all look the same. Logos are around. The thing that annoys me from what Sean was just saying, if I have to hear Stacey, it's not your fault. I know you listen to podcasts, it's not your fault.
Big fan.
I love Stacey King. He's one of my favorites.
Yep.
But if I have to hear Stacey one more time say, "Oh, well, Lauri just needs to call for the ball because he's got a guard on him, he should know his matchup." If I need to hear that one more freaking time, if you've got a smaller guy on you, hey, pass me the ball. I'm taking this kid to school. I can back him down, yeah, I'm taking this guy to school.
Yep.
And we don't see that from Lauri.
Are you saying it because you want Lauri
to do it?
Okay.
Yeah. I want him to do
You're
it
annoyed
because
that Stacey keeps having to say it.
Yes, having to say it.
And that's why I didn't know if you were just upset.
No.
And
that's why I said Stacey. It's not
made
your
a good
fault.
observation. It's a problem
because Lauri doesn't
keep
do that.
Keep making the observation. Maybe there's a problem.
Maybe Jim Boylan will listen to you someday.
And that's the thing. And part of it is Lauri Markkanen. You got to put some of this onus on Lauri. But when it comes to like that part of it,
Yeah.
I wonder if it's Lauri or if it's, hey, the system and what I'm taught in practice is to not do that because I'm taught to do something else, which would be a problem.
Well,
I really don't. I really would find it
that they're not taught
shocking
anything.
if they were like, "Hey, you're 7 feet tall.
It's Jim Boylan.
Don't use it."
well,
it's Jim
here's the
Boylan.
one interesting
It
thing
is Jim Boylan, but I don't think as much as Jim Boylan is a bad head coach.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's that stupid.
I
I don't think anyone is that.
I think
stupid.
there was that beautiful pause there because like
I just
one of the big things
I
though,
start
for the
thinking
season.
about that. Hey, Jim Boylan, you're a clown. He turns and looks.
That was
But one of the big
was
things for the season is we've seen the limited amount of shots from the mid-range game, and I think that might be contributing to this. Like Lauri was able to work in and have back-to-basket, do a turnaround, and hit mid-range shots, and he's being told, no, it's either low post or it's from three. Like that's the game plan. If you look at his numbers from this year, it kind of lines up with that, and I wonder if the mental notes from Jim Boylan saying mid-range is bad. And this is most notably, we've seen it with Zach LaVine early season versus Zach LaVine as of late in the fuck you Jim Boylan mode.
Well, and they said at the beginning of the season, like Summer League when we were out there, that we were going to run and
trying to play
shoot more threes.
the analytical game without necessarily knowing how to get there, I think was the problem.
So far, he's 4 of 20 in the actual mid-range, 10 to the three-point line. He's only taken 20 shots, four made. He's been pretty good around the rim, 60% on 97 attempts. And if we at least compare his mid-range games to mid-range numbers to last year, he took at least in the actual mid-range 80 shots from 10 to 16 feet, and then from 16 to the line, 62 shots. He was 37% on 16 to the three-point line, 37%, and then from 10 to 16. He was 32% on 80 shots.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his numbers have gone down in ways. He's been less effective from 3 to 10 feet, 43% compared to 37%. At the rim, he's been less effective as well. 62% last year compared to 60, not a major drop-off. And he's just been less effective all across the board at three-point percentage too, 36% compared to 33%. But, yeah, I mean, he's taken less of those true mid-range 10 to the three-point line this year, but also it wasn't like he was it's massively killing his game.
No,
I
but
really only want
like
you taking a mid-range shot if you're at that 40% mark, which he wasn't even at.
No, but I think it blends into like the whole eye test problem with him because he doesn't have the confidence in knowing that that's a tool in his bag that he can grab whenever he needs to. I feel like his game's changing because he's got a mental note in there like, don't do this thing. It's not.
So
it's not a good thing.
Can we say that he is the basketball Mitch Trubisky? That he's thinking too much? That they're giving him too many ideas to do, and he's not able to be himself? He's not able to play loose and free like Mitch Trubisky wants.
He might not be able to play the style of game that he wants to. He might be trying to fit Jim Boylan's system, whatever system that is. We'd love to know. Let us know when you guys figure that out. But I think that might be the problem. Is Lauri wants to play like a two guard. He doesn't want to bang down low. He put on the extra weight because that was part of the game, and he knows he has to as a 7-footer have some respect down in the low post. But let's be honest, he wants to be a two guard. He wants to be out there chucking 9 threes a game and playing quick, and that sounds great in theory, but we don't have the right pieces right now to make that work, so we're playing differently, or maybe we're just not executing it. I don't know what the real problem with the Bulls is because we've been complaining about the coach, the front office, and everything in between for the longest time. So for me, I look at this and I'm like, I keep seeing more and more consistency out of him. Yes, he's inconsistent, but we've had more glimpses of good games than bad games as of late. And like I said, the eye test, it looks like he's starting to put it together more often. So I'd like to try to be positive about this and say, hey, we started off horrible. We're now playing amazing defense, mostly on the back of Wendell Carter Jr., Chris Dunn, Thad Young. Guys like that are able to play great defense, and kudos to them for that. But like the whole balance is you have to have the offense cooking too. And it's not just Zach. You need Lauri to provide that on a nightly basis.
I mean, there's been more spurts, from November into early October, the couple games they played in October. There was the games of like 13, 8, 10, 3, 9, 24, 9, 6, 11, 13, 13, 7, 7, 11, 14, 16, 18, 9, 9, 35, right? Like it hasn't been as consistent where you're getting 20, 15, 20, 22, 13, 22, 10, 13, 13, 31, right? You're seeing more usage out of him, more shots being taken, but still it feels like that consistency isn't there yet. And maybe that's just higher expectations for Bulls fans. They want to see more out of him and him be at like 17 at least
it's his
every
third
single
year.
game or something like that.
Like, what's the deal?
That's a part of it, but I also think that we got to look at the competition too. I mean, he was going up against OKC. He was going up against Washington. He was going up against Charlotte. He was going up against the Clippers, who weren't playing Kawhi. He was going up against Atlanta. He was going up against Charlotte. He was going up against Golden State, Memphis, Sacramento. The only good teams he was going up against were Miami, Toronto, and I mean, you could say the Clippers if you want to. But also, again, they weren't playing with Kawhi. So I just fear that Markkanen right now is... I don't think this is the Markkanen you're going to see.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, like, this is his career average, basically. That's where he's back to. So that's my question is the expectation just he has it in him for a couple of games a year? You can count on him to put up, like that 25 a night kind of deal. But all in all, he's going to be about a 17-8 kind of player. Is that just the expectation? Because we thought, hey, he starts out at this level, and man, he's just going to keep getting better and better. But maybe we set his trajectory too high, and we're in year 3 now, and he's basically the same player he was with a couple extra pounds on him, but basically the same stat line,
I'm hoping it's just a slow start to the season because I'm looking at an article here on NBCSports.com.
Yeah.
And this is just the 3-pointers, 20 games pre-December, and then the 10 games that we've had so far in December.
Yep.
Wide open 3-pointers. He was shooting on 61 attempts, about 28. It was 27.9, but I'll round up to 28.
That's rough.
On 45 attempts through 10 games, shooting 51% right now.
Yeah.
Through 10.
Shots weren't falling.
Catch and shoot, 29% on 107 compared to now 40.8 on 71. Above the break threes, 27.7 to now 41. 94 attempts to 61 attempts.
Okay.
And then corner threes, 15 attempts in the first 20 games, 33.3%. Now he's hitting 41.7% on 12 attempts.
Yeah,
so
I mean
that's what I'm just hoping.
Shots are just starting
the
to fall.
shots are falling.
Yeah.
He's now feeling it, and can he carry that moving forward?
Yeah.
And once the shots start falling, feel a little bit more confident in yourself and have that bleed into the other areas that we've had a problem with Lauri so far this season.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that we haven't touched on and I don't want to take it off track, but this team has been decimated by one man being missing. Like Otto Porter not being on the court has made us look awful, and I wonder if
that's what's unlocking. If Otto Porter was here, they'd unlock
we don't have
the
a starting
team.
small forward.
You also don't have a point guard that's actually good at facilitating the ball.
Yeah, but not having a small forward who was as dynamic as he was at the end of last season for the entirety of his time with the Bulls, I think goes a long way in making sure that Lauri gets better quality of looks, making sure that the team as a whole has better offense and a better flow.
Better. I'm not going to argue that. I mean, he's a starting player in the NBA without a doubt. But I don't know if
the current
What's
NBA.
up?
He was one of the most efficient shooters in the NBA. He said a starting player, starting quality.
Okay,
player.
but we don't know where he is right now with his injury.
True.
So, but even when he comes back from his injury, he is at least a starter in the NBA.
Yep. That's a huge upgrade over playing. Who do we have out there this past week? It was
it Sato?
Sato was playing the 3 for us, which I mean that's a thing.
I don't know if Markkanen is going to be affected that much by Otto because we really saw Otto take more of a step up late in the year because Markkanen was injured. So I don't know how those two are going to mesh well together. At least post trade deadline, Markkanen, average, and it's tough to look at his averages and be like, oh, this is what you should expect,
right? Because he's all over the place.
But 41% from the field, which isn't great. 31% from 3, 19 points per game. So the efficiency wasn't there, but the points were there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He was averaging
I just wonder if
10 points.
Him coming back to this team is going to be a positive not only for the team but for Lauri Markkanen's game because it gives them another guy who can take some pressure off, can draw defenders. Because right now, teams can basically ignore, like you said, we don't have a point guard who can facilitate or basically be an offensive threat. We have Chris Dunn out there who fucking love his defense, his hustle. But you're right. Nobody's going to guard him legitimately at the 3-point line. He doesn't have any gravity to his game. So having Otto Porter out there hopefully helps defenses focus less on we can stop Zach and we can stop Lauri, and then they have nothing. It adds a third viable threat.
How much do you think that people are actually like, oh, we have to stop Markkanen now? Because I really don't feel like when I've been
outside
watching,
of Zach, you don't have any other options. That's my thought.
Watching the games, it's not like I'm seeing him take massively contested, shots. It just feels like he's another guy out there.
Yeah.
I really don't feel like people are seeing him as a threat. I don't think that people are going to be going in and be like, we got to start marking, and he's the reason they go. Because I think really they can just take him out by just playing okay defense. If they play decent defense on any of these players, really the only one that can rise above it is Zach, because Zach is a microwave.
Yep.
But I really don't feel like anyone's out there being like, we need to stop marking it. It's just, all right, make them shoot threes and make sure there's like a hand near their face, and that's going to lead to missed shots from the Chicago Bulls. I really don't feel that this is going to be something that is, I really don't feel like Markkanen is that type of player yet where, he's going to draw that, Otto Porter's going to draw that much intrigue that's going to open up Markkanen that much, because Markkanen's, being guarded that tightly and that well.
They're second leading scorer, to be fair.
Yeah, but I don't really think that matters.
It's by default?
Yeah, you're by default on the Bulls of all team, the second best scorer.
Okay. Ricky, be quiet.
Well, I just for me, it's the whole thing of
He was
inconsistent.
supposed to throw another pick.
Oh, did he?
We're watching Sean lose a fantasy championship in front of our eyes.
4 interceptions today now. Is that where he's at?
Oof.
I don't know. It's frustrating because Sean is right. It's not like, oh man, Lauri Markkanen's making the team go. Zach is the guy.
Yeah.
Shut down Zach. And really it's all you get, for me, if you said, okay, shut down Zach, where are most of our points coming? Oh, the second unit. That's a problem. That's a problem. I tweeted out games ago where it's hey, is it a problem that our second unit plays better than our first unit? And I looked it up the last few games. Our starting 5 has been Dunn, Levine, Sato at the 3, and then Lowry and Wendell.
Yeah.
That's our starting 5 that we're rolling out.
Kobe White's either incredibly good or incredibly bad.
But he's a rookie. You're okay with that because he's a rookie.
Exactly.
Lauri Markkanen,
he's a third-year player.
It's
Make
your
with the
third
consistency.
year. Well, third year,
but
was out most
year.
of last year because of an injury. With me, this Bulls team,
he had 52 games played last year. He had 68 his rookie year. So, not the worst.
And with this whole team, then I know this is away from Lowry. I need a place to vent this out.
Sure.
Our coaching staff, mainly our head coach, is feeling the pressure from us. You can feel it because out of that one video I referenced where the one fan said, hey, Jim Boylan, you're a clown. Archie walked right by. Lowry walked right by. Didn't even hear the noise. I'm just going to block it out, move on to the next one. Jim Boylan's the only one that looked, and it's why are you looking?
Because
just walk
they said
right
their
by.
name.
Yeah, who cares?
It's impossible
a
to
fan.
not.
You just move on and you go on. I saw that the look on his face. I'm like, we're in Jim's head. Jim's head.
I really disagree with you there. If anyone screams, "Hey, Ricky Widmer, you're a clown," you'd be like, "Oh, hey, what?" And that's all it was. That guy's just a dick. The guy who yelled, "He's a clown" at him. He's just a dick.
But is he wrong?
That's not your question.
It's still
it's a dick to do it, but
it's a dick
is he
move.
wrong?
He's wrong to do it. Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean wrong in the statement.
He's wrong to do it.
No, I'm wrong in the statement.
I think the way that I'm answering the question should give you an answer.
True.
Anyway, I think where I end on this is Lowry's playing better. He's giving me more hope, and it's going in the right direction.
Games.
Yeah.
It's been 9 games.
Yeah.
Come on.
10 games.
Has it
December.
been 10?
Yeah. December's been 10.
It's been. Sorry. Oh, no.
Double digits, bitch. Double digits.
My mind's changed. It's been 10 games.
I don't care. It beats
Dave,
the first awful 18 games.
Dave, it's been 10 games.
20.
18. Because he had a 35-point performance.
That's right. Okay.
And he had another game, I can't remember which one it
But
was.
the whole point is about consistency. So he had a 35-point performance and then 2 9-point performances.
Yeah.
So
again,
no, it's been 20 games.
Also,
I'm cool with it.
We're recording this on Saturday, so this will go up after the game is over.
Yep.
We may be able to beat the Pistons tonight because Blake is not playing.
Blake hasn't been playing good anyway.
Can I get an?
When he is there.
Yeah, I mean, one of the last games he looked really good at was Detroit. He looked really good in that game.
You mean against the Bulls?
No, Drummond wasn't playing well, and
Oh, you're saying
Yeah.
Lowry looked good. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you said Blake. I was like,
over under 20 points per tonight for Markkanen.
I'll say over. I'll say 22.
18.
So under.
I'll take the under. I'll take 13.
Okay.
I think he's going to be bad tonight.
Okay.
I'll say with Blake out, 22.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, because Blake's a defensive stalwart out there. Just stop Lauri Markkanen. He's gonna be stopped by Reggie Jackson in the post.
Yikes.
God.
Yikes.
Please don't put that juju on me, Ricky Bobby.
And on that incredibly depressing
Bulls.
news,